Memphis, I didn't play the game very well. I never made this easy to get injured. I never got more about the game, so as I can to do with it. With the fans, they have been fantastic. I've been here 5 years now, so they're showing that the face they are getting. So it's just I just want to tell them that I'm fine, I'm doing well, I'm doing top every day to get back to where the people should be there. The teams are Papa and the team they have been fantastic to me. I know it was so shocking to see the support you show me whilst I was going through it for just to understand so true, but now I'm really well out with therapy and I'm coming along very well with the guidance of everybody, with the staff, with the medical staff, the time so far. I just I will continue working out together for everyone's rest.
We reconstructed the draft with a very good draft that has had great, excellent results in a lot of elite athletes. And we were able to do that as well at the same time, evaluating the rest of his joint to make sure we get him the best stuff. But really, it's been a lot of physical therapy. When he was playing normal, he tore his ACL. So our group and our in-house medicine group, as well as the team, were dedicated to getting him back and getting him in a better position than he was even before. And that's going to take significant effort.
Sports or anything we do, every obstacle, every dream matters absolutely. I'm overcoming the obstacles to the story. So this is just an obstacle in the way for me to try to overcome and work with a sport for the rest of my career.
Lion Nation, tweet or Instagram tonight using hashtag ORLVCLB and see your post at halftime during the Metro PCS High Speed Social segment. Make them good, City fans. July 15th as the Lions face English Premier side West Bromwich Albion in an international friendly. This game is included in the 2015 season ticket package. However, non-season ticket members can purchase tickets at Orlando City FC.
Citrus Bowl in Orlando. It's the 2015 Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup. Tonight, a fifth-round matchup featuring Major League Soccer rivals, the Columbus Crew SC and Orlando City SC. Good evening and welcome, everybody. This is the countdown to kickoff. Alongside Tom Traxler, I'm Jeff Ratcliffe. So glad you were with us here on Real Radio 104.1. Meeting number 3 between these two MLS teams, both above the playoff line. Tom, Lions and Crew. This is a different meeting of sorts as the Crew won the first meeting this year in MLS play 3-0 on their home pitch. We had a tie just a few weeks back right here at the Citrus Bowl. There will be no tie tonight. This is a knockout competition.
No, as we found out a few weeks ago, Jeff, in Charleston, South Carolina, you will go to overtime and you will go to penalties if necessary.
And multiple rounds of penalties if necessary. City and Columbus Crew SC set to kick things off at 7:38 as our countdown to kickoff continues here on Real Radio 104.1. Jeff Ratcliffe, Tom Trexler, and a special guest, Tim Holt, the Vice President of Development for Orlando City, former president of USL, which is interesting that we've got a nice thing to talk about as far as Orlando City, that we've got some news and that we're going to have a USL team in town once again. Talk about how that all came about.
Yeah, exciting day for the club, exciting day for soccer fans in Central Florida. Today we announced our intent to launch, maybe relaunch, a USL team for the 2016 season. Certainly, as any fans of Orlando City know, that's where this club and this team got its start and was the foundation to catapult into Major
yeah.
And we get kind of a return to this, but I was gonna ask a question, since you ran USL and really were instrumental in building it to what it's become. You must be looking at tonight's matchup and thinking about some past USL glories in
the US
Open Cup.
Absolutely. I mean, there's so many. I mean, think about the Open Cup's a great tournament. 100 years old. I know you guys were talking about it earlier. 100 years old, and it's there's so much history and heritage in that particular event, and it's been a great vehicle for USL teams to essentially punch above their weight. What other competition in American pro sports gives you an opportunity in a meaningful tournament to go head-to-head against the major league teams? So it's all upside for the USL teams and the lower division teams to be able to do that. I think one of my first experiences was when I joined USL in 1999. One of my first trips out of the office was to the Open Cup final, which coincidentally enough was hosted in Columbus in a brand new Columbus Crew Stadium. Columbus wasn't in the game. It was Colorado against the Rochester Rhinos of the A-League, which is now USL, and the Rhinos won. They actually went through 5 MLS teams en route to winning the Open Cup, and they were the last non-MLS team to win the Open Cup. So there's been so many great Cinderella stories. It's captivating. I think it's just now starting to come into its own and get more attention through the internet and streaming of games to put it a little bit more in people's awareness. And, it still can play a major role in our season here.
Sure.
A tough one tonight, and they don't get any easier going through, but, 2 or 3 games away from getting into some special time.
It's interesting that the shoes on the other side for Orlando City, they were the ones trying to punch above their weight, as you would say, the past couple of years, and now they're fending off teams like Charleston in penalty kicks. It was kind of a surreal moment for us to kind of be up there in that situation. And their team that's had some success in U.S. Open Cup, they've actually made a final as well. So it's not unusual for those teams. We have the Charlotte Independent still tonight as a possible opponent for Orlando City. They've got Chicago tonight. Now, I guess there's a little bit of a rooting hat for you in that one too?
Yeah, my rooting hat's with Orlando City at this point.
First of all,
first and foremost, first, second, and third. It's hard not to, as a sports fan, sort of, pull for the underdog in situations like that. What you do see, though, is for a USL team or potentially an NASL team or an amateur team, that's the match of the season for them. It's the game of the season. So you're going to have everything that they've got, and if the MLS team doesn't at least match their energy, then the energy is going to overcompensate the talent differential between the two teams. And I think that's why there are so many upsets. And Charlotte's carrying that flag this year for USL, and wouldn't be a team that you would sleep on if you're Chicago. And if they get through, then it's a very capable side.
I just thought of something. Wait a minute here. So we're going to have a team in USL, and we're going to have a team in MLS. What happens if they get drawn against each other in U.S. Open Cup play? Oh, my. What do we do?
Well, we root for both.
Whoever scores, yes.
There's actually, not to get too technical with you guys because it's fun to think about, that would only be in the final. The Open Cup has rules where teams that are owned by a same ownership
LA2
group,
is not playing Los Angeles Galaxy.
They would avoid matchups with them all the way to the final. So our best case scenario next year is our MLS team against our USL team, and we can host it in the new stadium.
Well, I suppose that's a good thing. That can't happen. I just had to think for a second. Well, wait a minute. Hold on. Let me change gears a little bit and pick your brain about USL, because there's still expansion to be done in MLS. So, in your opinion, who of the current USL crop of teams do you think is most capable of making a jump?
Loaded question, because invariably, with all the great expansion franchises USL has this year, I'm going to leave someone out that is worthy of that. But I think Sacramento just is the one that jumps to mind in terms of market. A lot of similar dynamics as you have with Orlando, just one major league team, an NBA team, really fervent support. Maybe it doesn't fit your conventional wisdom model of this super big, enormous market, but I think what we've seen works in professional soccer is just there's something going on there, and there's something going on in Sacramento. You got great ownership. They got a building now. They've proven the market. They have the right ownership group. They're going to have their own downtown stadium. So those are the things I think that you look to check off the box. There certainly are others, the St. Louis's of the world and a few others, but Sacramento would be at the top of the list.
We're joined by Tim Holt here in studio. He's Orlando City's new Vice President for Development, former President of United Soccer Leagues. And under your leadership in recent years, you put forward a
a plan to get all these USL teams kind of on the same page as far as stadium size. What are we looking for the second Orlando City team, this USL team, to have, and maybe where could they possibly play? Could we expand the footprint?
Yeah,
perhaps?
Jeff, that's a great question. In terms of the venue, getting that an appropriate size venue is important. Obviously, to the USL League, that's no less than 5,000 seats. So we're looking at a 5,000 to 10,000 seat venue. And for us, it's really all of Central Florida that we're looking at. We've already done some exploratory work. There's more to be done. There are options out here, whether they're sort of core Orlando or whether they're more in some of the outer lying communities within the Central Florida footprint. We're going to be diligent about that, and mostly it's about finding the best home for that particular team where we can create a great fan environment game in and game out.
Sadly, this will end the affiliation with Louisville. How did Louisville take the news? Was there talks with Wayne Estopanol and everything over there? Because they were excited. I'm sure James O'Connor was really happy about this situation that was building, and then now that's going by the wayside.
Well, yeah. First, a few comments about Louisville. Talk about a high-performing first-year pro franchise. I mean, I don't know what everybody's expectations were, but they're exceeding all of them, including probably their own. Fan support, 6,000-7,000 fans a game. They're right in the playoff hunt. You know, James O'Connor, Amanda Duffy, Wayne Estopanol are all sort of friends of this organization. So, yes, we won't have them as our affiliate in sort of definitional terms for next year. They're still going to be partners of ours. We're still going to have a close working relationship with them in every possible way, sharing of best practices. And, you know, case in point, you know, we just announced today also that we're going to have an exhibition game where Orlando City's going to play at Louisville in late August, which I think could potentially fill Slugger Field, which would be a really special environment. And we'll continue to have those. Just because we're not affiliates doesn't mean there's not going to be a continuing relationship with a club that we respect.
Well, Tim, we certainly appreciate the time. Thanks for spending it with us here on the pregame show. And we're really excited about this. Orlando City's second franchise. Who knows, maybe we're talking about a women's team here shortly, too, with the Women's World Cup going on. You're not going to go there?
I wasn't going to put him on the spot, but I so wanted to say, when's the women's team coming?
Very cool.
For another day.
There you go.
The next U.S. Open Cup match we have in the stadium, right? Tim, thank you very much for the time. We appreciate it.
Thanks, Tom.
Thank you, Tim.
Pleasure.
Appreciate it.
We'll take this time out. You are listening to the Countdown to Kickoff. It's Orlando City and Columbus Crew SC in the U.S. Open Cup 5th round. We'll be right back on Real Radio 104.1.
Hello? Hey, Sean, Chicago here. Ready for the game today? We can start with some sliders or a nice brat.
I'm at work.
So what else is new? Look, you're a hard worker, but you gotta take a day off. So why not work on your 7th inning stretch in Chicago? Or work on getting to know some presidents in Washington, D.C. Or heck, you could even work on getting a kebab on the street in New York City if meat on a stick is your thing. Hilton, where fans, foodies, and everyone else always get the best price. Only when you book direct through Hilton. Book now at Hilton.com. Conditions apply.
Summer's on us at City Kia of Greater Orlando. That means no payments for 90 days.
90 days?
That's right, no payments for 90 days. Drive home the award-winning 2015 Kia Forte for $0 down. Only $225 a month with no payments for 90 days.
Thanks, Maverick. It's Mark and Abby at City Kia, and we're doing the Summer Kickoff Party.
2015 Kia Forte. During the Summer Kickoff Party, there's $0 down, $227 a month.
Save big at citykia.com.
City Kia, home of the
$9.95 oil change.
No payments for 90 days. And every new and used Kia on the lot comes with 2 years of complimentary maintenance. You don't got to worry about a thing. And every new Kia comes with a 10-year, 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty. Don't sweat your credit. We getting everyone approved. Call 855-5-CITY-KIA. Anytime at citykia.com.
Times are different than they were when Geico started saving people money over 75 years ago. Everybody takes photos of their food nowadays. You can bet none of us kids would snap pictures of Mom's tuna casserole surprise. To this day, we don't know what the surprise was, nor do we want to. We didn't always have tasty food, but we always had great car insurance with Geico.
Geico, saving people money on car insurance for over 75 years. Attention, Lion Nation. Did you ever wonder what the Orlando City players do to keep their strength and stamina throughout the game? It's simple. They take nutritional supplements from Midway Labs. Midway Labs, the nutritional way to achieve Lion results. Now you can use the same nutritional supplements that the Orlando City players use. Learn how you can achieve Lion results and receive special Lion fan discounts on Midway Labs supplements at shopmidwaylabs.com. That's shopmidwaylabs.com. Midway Labs, the official nutritional supplement products of the Orlando City Soccer Club.
Switch to Metro PCS today and get a free 4G LTE smartphone, like the LG Leon LTE, sales tax not included. And since you'll keep your old phone number, you won't run the risk of inheriting some number previously used for pizza deliveries. Nope, just a brand new smartphone for free on the fast nationwide 4G LTE T-Mobile network. Right now at Metro PCS. Limited time offer. Price after instant rebate. Excludes numbers currently on the T-Mobile network. Coverage and services not available everywhere. See store or metropcs.com for details and terms and conditions.
This is Luke Borden, Orlando City's left back. The pregame show continues right now on Real Radio 104.1.
Back at the Citrus Bowl, U.S. Open Cup action on a Tuesday night here in the City Beautiful as Orlando City faces Columbus Crew SC for the third time, and this time it will be a knockout competition tonight. Jeff Radcliffe alongside Tom Traxler taking your texts at 77031. Got the text coming in, Tom. They should have named the USL team the Orlando City Pouncers.
The Pouncers.
Jason from Ocala living in Miami. Thanks, Jason. That's a good one.
Yeah, not bad at all. Let's see. Listening as always from Lakeland. Hashtag Ruckus. Hashtag Vamos Orlando. Somebody asking, is the game on TV? Kind of. It's not. It's not on network. It's not on any kind of network or cable station, but you can find it on
the
YouTube.
YouTube. The U.S. Soccer page will have the links to all 4 of the U.S. Open Cup games tonight involving the MLS teams. And that feed, I'm imagining, is going to join us simulcast in about 2-3 minutes. So turn the volume down there. Doesn't matter because you're going to hear us either way.
I'm getting tweets as well, and I got one from Taylor Williams. It says, if tonight's game has even 1/4 the excitement of the last round against Charleston, we're in for a treat. And then, boy, would that be the truth. I don't know if I could take another game like that, Jeff. Like the one that was in Charleston.
No kidding.
The Boers from Winter Springs got both big screens going, streaming the Lions with the girls going as well. Let's see a double win. Of course, referring to the U.S. women taking on Germany tonight in the Women's World Cup semifinal. Mike is listening from Durham, North Carolina. Love the show and the Lions. Well, thank you very much, Mike.
Well, Billy from Anchorage, Alaska checking in. Go Lions. I left work early for this.
Me too. The Quick family from Winter Haven are headed to the bowl to cheer on Orlando in person tonight. All right, we'll get here quick. All right.
Jimmy from Sanford saying huge match tonight. Go City. We're moving on in the cup. Well, we certainly hope so tonight as we are about 8 minutes from kickoff.
Getting closer. Tracy in Ocala, let's avoid the mental errors of the last 2 meetings and crush the Crew, and Cooter and Leesburg hope for 2-1 victory.
Outstanding. Well, we'll take a timeout. We'll come back with the starting lineups, and we will go off the pitch with Scott Harris. It's Orlando City and Columbus Crew SC tonight in the U.S. Open Cup. We'll be right back on Real Radio 104.1.
Do you want real fireworks? Sky King Fireworks. Buy one, get two. In Cocoa on 520 or Melbourne on 192. Sky King Fireworks has the largest selection of brand name fireworks. Buy one, get two. Mortars, 500 and 200 gram repeaters, Roman candles, rockets, and more. Buy one, get two. Sky King Fireworks. Buy one, get two. In Cocoa on 520 or Melbourne on 192. For info, call 877-SKY-KING or visit SkyKingFireworks.com. That's 877-SKY-KING or SkyKingFireworks.com.
It's an Elvis celebration 4th of July weekend at Cypress Cove Nudist Resort and Spa. Cypress Cove in Kissimmee is the preferred location for a clothes-free getaway. The fun kicks off Friday night with a magic show with Dan Stapleton. Enjoy a Saturday pool party with DJ Xavier, an Elvis dance and tribute show with Ken E. on Saturday night. Enjoy crystal clear pools, whirlpool spas, tennis courts, or expert spa treatments. For details, visit CypressCoveResort.com. Cypress Cove, a natural choice for an all-natural vacation.
You wear other jeans, but you live in your Levi's. And this week, you can do it for 50% off. That's right. It's our end-of-season sale. And all Levi's outlet stores are offering a huge selection of your favorite Levi's looks at half price. We're talking jeans, tops.
the Orlando City Lions and receive special offers and promotions throughout the 2015 season with your own Orlando City debit card. Already a member? You can order yours online now. Show your Lions pride with every purchase you make and get your card today. Fairwinds debit cards are the fast, convenient, and secure way to access your checking account. This is our community, our hometown, our team. Fairwinds Credit Union, wherever you are.
Honey.
Go, 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 go!
Honey?
Oh, come on, Ref, seriously.
Honey?
And aloha means goodbye. See ya!
Honey.
Woo, woo, wabam, booyah kasha!
Food's ready.
Who's your dad? Whoa, awesome. Thanks, honey.
Technically, yeah, but I can move it around.
Food for the game. And from fresh fried chicken, teas, and fixings to all the paper products you need, Publix is your tailgate party headquarters.
Okay.
And this season is stock up and save big. Only at Publix, where shopping.
Okay, that's cool. I'll move
I don't
the
know
brakes
if we
around.
get
Business or pleasure, Orlando International.
I can fix it.
Airport of choice for Central Florida. 35 airlines serving 125 destinations to get you to your destination faster. There are plenty of options on the ground, too, with parking options to suit all budgets. Only the planes park closer. Inside, you'll find everything with 130 shops and restaurants, free Wi-Fi, and airport ambassadors to assist you. For more information, visit orlandoairports.net or get the free Orlando MCO app for Android and iOS.
2 minutes, just under.
Most of your next visit.
The Orlando City pregame continues.
Actually, it's just a minute. Hold on.
Radio 104.1.
Round number 5, as Orlando City will take on Columbus Crew SC. We will learn a little bit now about the U.S. Open Cup from Scott Harris. He is the professor tonight as we go off the pitch.
It's time to go off the pitch with Scott Harris.
The Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup, commonly known as the U.S. Open Cup, is a knockout cup competition in American soccer. It is the oldest ongoing national soccer competition and the world's third longest running open soccer tournament. The overall champion can earn a total of $250,000 in prize money, while the runner-up receives $60,000. In addition, the tournament winner qualifies for the stage competition of the CONCACAF Champions League. The competition dates back to 1913, when it was known as the National Challenge Cup. In 1999, U.S. Soccer honored one of American soccer's most important patrons, Lamar Hunt, by changing the official title of the tournament to the Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup. Since MLS's debut in 1996, MLS clubs have won the cup in all but one of those years. The Rochester Rhinos of the 2nd Division A-League were surprise winners in 1999, defeating 4 MLS clubs, including the Colorado Rapids, 2-0 in the championship match. Although it doesn't count for the MLS standings, don't tell Adrian Heath that.
I think that we picked a team that we thought could win in Charleston. Very young team, gave a lot of the young guys minutes, invaluable minutes. And although it got a little bit closer than we thought, it went to the penalty shootout, we did get through, which in cup competitions is the only thing you have to do. You have to win in advance, and we did. So, no, we'll go back to our tried and trusted team tonight, and it's a competition that I want to win. I've said this all along, and, we're in the last 16, with 2 or 3 games away. So let's go and see if we can win it.
To get more Orlando City Soccer Club news, log on to realradio.fm keyword soccer. For Off the Pitch, I'm Scott Harris.
Thanks so much, Scott. Good lesson, of course. It is the U.S. Open Cup, as these two teams will meet for the 3rd time this season. This, of course, a knockout competition. Both teams were just introduced to the crowd. We had the national anthem. It'll be Orlando City in the purple and Columbus Crew in the very familiar bright yellow. And here's the starting lineup for Greg Berhalter. Now in his 2nd season, it will be Brad Stuver in goal. And in the back, you will have a regular starter in Emmanuel Pogatetz. You also have Tyson Wall back there. They'll be the central defenders. Chris Clutie and Chad Barson out on the edge. The defensive midfielders, a normal starter in Tony Chani. And he scored a goal against Orlando City 2 weeks ago here on this field. Kevon George, the former UCF Knight, gets the start here in his old stomping grounds, if you will. And then it'll be Kristen Steindorsen, Ben Spies in the midfield. And also we'll have Aaron Schoenfeld and Adam Bedell, the tallest player in MLS at 6'7", starting at forward for Columbus and for Orlando.
Well, we have a pretty much a very strong 11, a starting 11 for Orlando. We will have Tally Hall in goal. Your defense will be Rafael Ramos on the right side. Seb Hines and Sean St. Ledger will be your 2 central defenders. Luke Bowden will be on the left side. The two holding mids will be Darwin Sren and Christian Higuita. Ahead of them, Eric Avila on the right side midfield, and Carlos Rivas will be on the left side of midfield. Kaká will be in the hole as your central midfield player, supporting Pedro Ribeiro, who will be your striker up top.
So, Tom, what do you make of this? It's basically a first-choice lineup for Orlando City. You are missing Kyle Larin, who is on international duty, but everybody else, guys who have started games this year.
Well, this is as close to a starting 11 as you're going to get right now out of Orlando City, Jeff. So I think Orlando City is making a statement that they're playing to win this game. They're playing to win this cup.
Looking at the shape in front of us, Columbus more in a 3-5-2 situation, perhaps?
About a 3. I look at it like a 3-5-2, possibly. Yeah, it's a 3-5-2 as we look at it.
See what trouble that causes for Orlando. I don't believe they've faced a team playing that formation. Now, they have used that formation once this season in the draw at Montreal earlier. It will be Orlando City attacking left to right in the purple, and defending the south goal will be Brad Stuver and the 10 yellow-clad Crew SC players in front of him. So glad you were with us. And joining us here on the U.S. Soccer YouTube channel, we are underway here on Real Radio 104.1 as Orlando will drill it up with Luke Bowden up top. Now here's Carlos Rivas, who had 3 goals in the first round of this tournament, all from the spot. He will send it to the line. Pogatetz, it's out, and it will be a goal kick for Brad Stuver and Columbus Crew.
Wasted no time in getting forward, and I've always said I don't know why teams go backward from kickoff. Go forward. Put the other team under pressure, and Orlando's certainly trying to do that straight from kickoff.
Nice crowd, especially behind the Columbus goal. It will go out to the right here immediately. Stuver. Up the middle it goes as we see Kevon George get a touch. Again, the former Knight. Here's the turn. Schoenfeld trying to show for Chris Clutie, who will play it back to the right side. It is going to be Tyson Wall actually here on the left side as Pogatetz sends it forward to Chani. Played back, and Stuver punts it forward as Christian Higuita was putting the pressure on for Orlando City. There's Ramos. Weren't sure if Rafa was going to start. He's had a knock in training, but he does get the start here tonight for head coach Adrian Heath. We a throw to Columbus. Steindorsen will leave it for Tyson Wall, the Newport Beach, California native. 31 years old, to play the ball into space to nobody, and it will be handled by Seb Hines. Lions trying to crack this defense. Just underway at the Citrus Bowl, about 90 seconds in. Rafael Ramos, who the first time played the men in yellow, did not have a memorable game. He was sent off, and that 3-0 defeat Orlando had at the hands of Crew SC. Did not endear himself to the fan base up there either, but has learned his lesson, no doubt. Wall will throw inside to Tony Chani. And the number 6 sends it to the far side. This is Barson, and nearly loses the handle. It will roll all the way back to Stuver. Stuver into Chani. But technically, Tom, it's basically Chani and Pogatetz really your only normal starters in the lineup here for Greg Berhalter.
Yeah, it's
a brave thing to do, but you got to remember this team's coming off a tough game on the road at Salt Lake over the weekend.
Yeah, they're in a run of games which are all close and tight together. So, you have to be careful and rotate your squad. I mean, you can try and play the same unit that just played against Real Salt Lake on the weekend, but then they're going to have to turn around and play again on the weekend. It's tough. Orlando City was just in that kind of run of games. But then to travel off to Charleston midweek and then, get back into town and play. So it's tough. But Coach Greg Berhalter has chosen to rotate his squad a little bit, and it could be a good thing. Sometimes you shake up your lineup a little bit, and you get a little more than what you bargained for.
St. Ledger headed it on frame towards Stuver. And the 6'3" Ohio native out of Twinsburg, second year with the Crew, will kick away as Ribeiro tries to cut off the angle. It will go to the right side, and Chris Clutie. Turned by George. He'll play it forward right side to Ben Spees. Spees with some space on the right. Drills it into the 18. Headed off the post. My goodness gracious, that missed it by a coat of paint. Here's Chani delivering it off the right foot, and it's a little high and wide, but good attempt there for the Columbus Crew.
Well, it's just like I told you, you shake things up. These players have something to prove. They're all going to be trying to show Coach Greg Berhalter, hey, I deserve to be in your thoughts for a starting 11 spot. So you're going to get a hungry side that's going to come out, and players that don't normally get to play a lot are going to have a chance to prove themselves, and you see right there what they can do.
Ben Spies has played in 7 regular season MLS games this year. Did get 1 start. Homegrown player out of Stowe, Ohio. Started at the University of Akron. Won a national championship there. Orlando City now will counter with Bowden. Tries to make the turn and shake off Clutie. Sends it up the side, and it'll be into touch. Throw to Columbus Crew SC now in minute number 5. George. As Tyson Wall will leave pressure. Steindorsen, it rolls off of Ramos, and here comes the quick throw by Bedell. Into the box, laid back to the top, and sent high in the air. That one by Seb Hines. And Chani, we see how much of a beast he was. He was a force to contend with in the first 2 meetings between these two sides. There's Steindorsen.
He's a big, strong midfielder, Tony Chani, 6'4".
Looking for Clutie. He's going to overshoot him a bit. No, we'll have a free kick for Columbus Crew as Higuita will try to explain himself to the referee, Mark Kadlicek.
Columbus Crew off to a good start in this one, controlling the tempo, controlling really most of the passing. Again, this is two of the best passing teams in all of MLS.
The 2 best. Crew second in the league, 81.4%, only topped by Orlando at 83.
And while a lot of people, may say it's a less than first strings lineup, you look through this Columbus lineup, they got quality players throughout.
Spies now will deliver with his right foot on a free kick as Columbus will look to get runners in front of Tally Hall. It's swung in and headed over the bar. And it took a deflection, so it'll be a corner kick for Columbus Crew SC.
Yeah, obviously on rushing the keeper. Keeper has to hold there, and it forces you as a defender sometimes. If you can't get a good read, you just have to send it high and away. Probably a good time to welcome all the listeners from Columbus Crew that are tuning in.
That's right, here on the YouTube feed provided by U.S. Soccer. Thanks so very much for joining us wherever you happen to be, especially in the Buckeye State. Glad you're with us. We're simulcasting on Real Radio 104.1 here in Orlando. Here is the delivery on the corner, and it's headed out by Higuita. He got the first contact and will roll out looking for Kaká. Can't get there as Barson stepped to the ball, and it will be played all the way to Tally Hall now. Looking for Orlando to settle in. Higuita comes all the way back to take.
This 3-5-2 allows Columbus to keep good numbers in the middle, which is going to pressure the Orlando City to the 2 holding mids for Orlando City.
Flag stays down. Ramos runs on into the corner. He'll play it back into space inside the 18. And now drilled on frame, and Stuver goes low to scoop it up.
He'll want better from that delivery. Well, Rafael Ramos at first cross delivery, I'm sure he knows needs to be a little bit better.
On the substitutes bench for Greg Berhalter, Justin Merrim is available, so is Mohamed Saeed. Also Romain Gall, Sergio Campbell, Ben Swanson, and the backup keeper is Matt Lampson. And pushed off the ball is Avila. Bochani, he is a man, baby, as he pushed the Orlando City midfielder off. And now will be another free kick for the visitors here, as down to his knees is Ben Spies.
Well, Ben Spies, Tony Chani, Kevin George dominating the middle right now, and certainly giving Christian Higuita and Darwin Seren a battle, and that's just case in point right there. Ben Spies getting himself into good space in the midfield, able to get it and turning, forcing a foul.
Lions not quite in rhythm yet, and it's been about a week since they played, 6 days to be exact, since that 2-0 win here at the Citrus Bowl against Colorado. Spies will flip it up over the top. Dangerous balls. It rolls all the way to Tally Hall. Runners were there, but defenders were with them all the way.
Good positioning by Tally Hall. Stands in, takes that ball in, no problem. But sometimes if those things are put in with pace, as a goalkeeper, you got to watch the on-rushing players, and you got to watch ball. So Tally Hall did a really good job of standing there and focusing.
Gita bends it into Avila. Now Ramos along the right side. Push in on Steindorsen. And 50-50 ball initially won by Columbus, and Ramos gets back. Just a weird shape for each side right now as they try to adjust to what the other are doing. Diagonal ball in, looking for Kaká, and it was Kevon George to get there first. Pressure on and sent out. Will be a throw to Columbus off the foot of Kaká.
It was Roret. Again, you know, putting 3 at the back and pushing that extra man on into midfield allows you to have, you know, one extra. They're almost, Jeff, almost playing 6 in the midfield in a way.
10th minute scoreless between these two teams, who are becoming fast rivals here, and a player down for Columbus on the far side as they take possession near. And
it's like Adam Bedell is down.
Bedell holding his head, so this will stop play. As we always have to worry about a head injury, that or just in some extreme pain. And don't have the benefit of replay tonight, and he is signaling to keep the training staff off.
Probably got a good knock to the noggin, and those, especially when, I mean, you know, you get hit in the head or you get hurt, it feels bad. But I'll tell you what, something about doing it in the heat just makes it feel that much worse.
Good news, Bedell is up.
6'7".
6'7" out of Livonia, Michigan, 23 years old, and they're really high on him. He had 2 goals in the last round against Richmond, a win away.
A big fella.
Seb Hines and Sean St. Ledger will have their hands full.
I don't know how anybody got up there to give him a knock in the head.
No doubt. Turned and sent forward by Tyson Wall. And Shawnee taking up space this time, yields possession to Orlando. Kaká will take it just outside the circle, plays the through ball. Onside is Rivas, goes down top of the 18, incidental contact, and it'll be collected by Chris Clutie.
Yeah, good ball in by Kaká. Rivas just couldn't keep it down and in front of him.
Rivas will give chase. Ball in is back heel. Ribeiro will try to play it back through off the foot of Darwin Soren. And now it rolls past Ramos. Here's Bedell into some space. He'll cut it back to his right foot and then leave it for Steindorsen. And now Bedell.
He got stepped on really good. Christian Gita stepped as he came through. Probably be a yellow card. I don't think there was any intent, but he full caught him as he came through. Full caught him. Actually, I'm curious to see what card this referee has in his hand right now. All right, yeah, yellow.
So the first booking.
There were flashes of red I saw coming out of his palm.
Well, it would be par for the course because these two teams have yet to finish with 11 men aside.
If that would have happened, what are the odds on that one?
3 straight.
3 straight, and somebody goes out in each one.
Well, bottom line is,
well, it was a hard challenge, and he came through and he caught him fully. You could see it, and it was definitely a yellow card, no doubt about that.
Card comes in the 12th minute, and it's on Higuita. Higuita, I believe, had he had another in MLS play, he would be missing out on the next game, but this is a cup game, so that does not count on the ledger. So Higuita, yellow card. Minute number 12, first booking for either side here. Lee yields another free kick from the near side for Columbus. Settling over. Spies, and so is Tyson Wall. They will play it back. Shawnee, boy, nice job by Spies to keep it on his foot. He'll dance into the 18, try to play it forward. St. Ledger was there. And we're looking for Schoenfeld at the top.
Well, you've got one up top, so Orlando City should be looking to push the wide players. Orlando City holding 4 at the back to only 1 striker. The problem comes is Spies and Bedell are played right on Soren and Higuita, which leaves Tony Chani and Kevin George plenty of room to run, and they can both key on Kaká. So balls into Kaká should be tough.
George chests it in front. And now again, Bedell down. And now a yellow will be shown, this time to Seb Hines, and that's going to get some boos. Well, so back-to-back yellows in the span of 2 minutes.
Referee's opinion, professional foul by Seb Hines, and usually you're going to see that dealt with a yellow card. And and that was there. But Orlando City, if you're Orlando City right now, you've got to get to the races. Right now, Columbus Crew definitely dictating the pace, winning 50-50s, giving Orlando City all kinds of trouble with this 3-5. It's almost like a 3-4-2-1, Jeff.
Spee's delivery whipped into the box, and it will come out off the foot of Orlando City. Soren forward to Higuita. Higuita will cross the halfway line and now find Kaká. Has Rivas on the left. Will think about slipping it through to Kaká. Here's Higuita.
Offside.
And he was about a foot offside. Nice job by the back line of Columbus to play him.
If you're Orlando City, you want to take your two attacking wide mids and push them on and engage Chad Barson and Tyson Wall a little bit more. Then you've got room for your fullbacks to get forward a little bit. You really want to get the ball wide if you're Orlando City at this point.
Stuver.
Don't keep it narrow.
With a direct ball looking for Schoenfeld. Schoenfeld, not small by any means either. He's 6'4". So let's see if they playing direct, maybe a nice way to go of it if you're Columbus here tonight. And now some words between him and Soren. And it will be another free kick, as now our referee, Mark Kadlicek, will have words and settle things down. Not uncommon when these two teams have met, huh?
Well, is it a budding rivalry? That's the question. That's what always gets brought up. You know, as Orlando City settle into the league and they look for a true rival, a lot of people may think NYCFC, but they seem to have something going with New York Red Bull, and naturally so. So is Columbus Crew SC.
Third time you've matched up with them. You've matched up with DC United 3 times, too. You got to have games to make it a rivalry.
Time will tell.
Yeah.
Time will tell. And if
certainly we'll have Atlanta joining the league. That'll be a Southern type of thing.
If it becomes competitive, then you might have a budding rivalry on your hands.
We got another corner kick here for Crew SC. Whipped in, out-swinging kick right at the top of the 6. 50-50 through the air. Foul committed. Orlando City ball.
So far, like I said, all in this half, all Columbus Crew SC. Or we should say Crew SC.
You should.
Yes.
New logo, new branding.
And I shall. It is. New logo, new branding. I like their new branding.
It's going to be interesting, is that next year they will eschew and get basically forget about the yellow jerseys.
Yeah.
They'll go black at home.
I love black as a color, but I really like the
Such
yellow
an
kit.
iconic.
It really is. I like the yellow kit.
It's like we said in Charleston a couple of weeks back, the black and white vertical stripes that say Charleston Battery, one of those historic USL sides, as Ribeiro will keep the ball alive. And now Spees sends the ball forward, and they're going to try to let Bedell run. He won't get there.
Yeah, sometimes you got to look at those and goes, I wouldn't get to that if I had a taxi, so I'm going to let that go.
Deep throw to Orlando here. Hines will leave it for Ramos. And it's going to be marched back a few feet. '18th minute, no score. Columbus has been in the ascendancy for the better part of this one. Kaká will drill it, looking for the speedy Rivas. Heads it forward. Nice job by Barson to dispute it. Now will come forward to Clutie. Back to Stuver.
Barson did a good job of holding his ground in that challenge, and I think he knew exactly where he needed to be to win that ball.
Out of St. Ledger. Ramos, another searching ball. So trying to switch it to the other side. That didn't quite get there. Stepped in front of. Clutie got there first. Now Bedell will leave it left side. Here's Steindorsen. Corner of the 18. Ramos closes him down. He slips it through. And was it off of Hines? It wasn't. It will be a goal kick.
Yeah, goal kick. Well done. As Rafael Ramos goes inside to keep things tight with Schoenfeld, he has to come out wide to deal with Steindorsen, but he does so very, very well, getting out there quickly.
Throw to Orlando City, far side. Interesting. Crew SC, they come in 5-6-6 in league play, 21 points, just behind Orlando City in the standings, but winless on the road. Now here comes Rivas. He'll lay it back for Kaká. Top of the box. He'll shoot, takes a deflection, and will roll and trickle slowly towards the line. And saved by Steindorsen. The race is on right in front of the Orlando City technical area, and Bedell wins the challenge. Sprays it to the center, right to the waiting Luke Bowden. Kaká. Bods. Now Rivas. Got the start tonight, left mid. Tries to go through. He's fouled, and now that will yield a free kick just outside the 18-yard area.
Be curious what the referee calls here if he keeps his hand down or up. Is this what used to be called an obstruction call? I much prefer the word obstruction to impedance. Impedance.
It's not an electrician's term.
It just doesn't sound tough enough. Yeah. Let me just put it that way. It just doesn't sound tough enough.
In our 20th minute, scoring chance here on a set piece for Orlando City.
But this will be direct, so it was a foul, quite obviously. Cut through, tries to get through two defenders. Fouled in the process. Interesting. This will be interesting for Brad Stuver because the near post is in play, and he's got to watch the cross as well. So he has to play this very honestly.
Here's Kaká's delivery, sent in the back of the net. Orlando City.
Wait a minute. Offside.
And there was an offside. Yeah, near side. The flag was up, and that will shut down the celebration.
And that's exactly what we talked about earlier on Tally Hall, a similar type free kick, where as a goalkeeper, you've got to watch your near post, but that serve coming into the far post and that on-rushing crowd, it can freeze you. Obviously, we don't have the benefit of replay, so we're not going to be able to show you. We're just going to have to go. The referee's call was the right call.
And again, on the near side, we cannot see the touch line from our vantage point. And so a lot of times you can't see the flag.
And they can't on the camera either.
Exactly.
As
so
feed,
we don't see it. We don't see it.
We'll do our best to when the ball.
Turnover. Leaving for Kaká. He'll shoot. This one will count. And the Lions have struck first to the 21st. Kaká gives it a 1-0 lead.
Well, his second goal in as many games from the run of play, Jeff. And if you give the former World Player of the Year time and space at the top of the box, he's probably going to make you pay for it. And he definitely buries one, putting it low and underneath Brad Stuver, just to Brad Stuver's left, and made no mistake with it.
Gave him a full head of steam, and he took it well.
You could say kind of coming against the run of play a little bit, Jeff, that
Agreed.
goal.
So now it will be Columbus chasing a 1-0 game. Now a minute 22. So Kaká in all competitions now with 9 goals this season. So moments after his goal nullified by an offside, not even a minute later, he makes it official.
Well, he says, okay, I'll do it again.
I'll just do it the hard way. Nice job by Higuita to win the ball. Not sure if that was either Higuita or Soren, but again, no benefit of replay.
Well, it was a good job by Higuita there. He did a wonderful job at getting stuck in the midfield and making sure he didn't lose possession.
Be bent back to St. Ledger. Does have Luke Bowden on the left. And that will be contested and rolled to Bods right on the far touchline. Flips it up into Rivas, back to Darwin Soren, who will go on international duty tomorrow for Gold Cup preparations with El Salvador, former captain of the El Salvadorian national team. We've already mentioned that Kyle Larin already with Team Canada, as July is going to be a busy month for those two.
Never seems to stop in MLS, whether it be injuries or international call-ups. You're always missing somebody somewhere.
Interestingly enough, Orlando City left mid Breck Shea was not called in by Jurgen Klinsmann, but as we've now learned, there's some injury situations as he had to come off quickly in that last game, and now Orlando City will have a free kick just on the attacking half.
Yellow card was issued. I'm not sure whether he's issuing it to Tony Chani or Ben Spees. Oh, it's 12.
So
Sorry,
it goes to Kevon George.
Kevon George gets the yellow card for that challenge.
Kevon George, All-Conference USA performer with UCF. Graduated in 2011. Also has 11 caps with the Trinidad and Tobago national team, so I'm sure he and Kevin Molino know each other. Nice feature this week on the Orlando City website of Mr. Molino coming back from that ACL surgery and doing very well in his recovery. Throw to Orlando City here. Ball into the box. Stuver goes up high and pulls it out of the air.
Nice job as a goalkeeper. It's almost textbook perfect. Go up the highest point and get that thing. And he did a wonderful job at getting up and getting that down.
Stuver had some experience in U.S. Open Cup play in USL. We'll get to that in a moment as it's turned over. Stuver saw some time on loan with Dayton and in Wilmington back in 2014. Those are the exploits of Orlando City. Here's George in the center circle. Here's the turn by Spees. Clutie along the right side will try to get the corner on Luke Bowden. He's able to do so, runs into the box, leaves it back, and stood up was Schoenfeld, and now cleared off the line. Nice job by Sean St. Ledger. He and Luke Bowden, good defense there.
Fire department, Sean St. Ledger, because as the first tackle was rode and defender got out of the way of it, there was a follow-up, and Sean was able to read very well to get stuck in that challenge.
Columbus attacking with abandon, goes to the back post, headed. Not a bad effort from Bedell. Just out-jumped, and he's going to out-jump anybody at 6'7".
Well, I think, yeah. He's going to give everybody a hard time at
Peter
6'7"
Crouch
when he goes up. Like I said, he could be playing forward, but not forward as in striker, forward as in NBA. With that kind of height.
Seb Hines. Orlando has a 1-0 lead, courtesy of goal by Kaká. We rolled forward. This will be handled by Tyson Wall. Looking for Chani, overshoots him just a touch. And nice job by Orlando to collect. Saran to Rivas. He'll give it a go from distance, right to Stuver.
Don't give him too many looks for that left. He has it's explosive off his left foot. If you give him space and time, he hits that thing with it's got the hammer of Thor to it.
Great Odin's Raven.
Great Odin's Raven.
Meanwhile, Pedro Ribeiro whistled for the infraction. Foul will lead to a free kick in the middle of the park for Columbus. Pogatetz will play it into Chani. Back to Emmanuel. Pogatetz did not start that game here at the Citrus Bowl 2 weeks ago, but was forced to come in emergency fashion as Michael Parkhurst was whistled for the handball and the red card ejection in that game that really turned the game on ahead. But give Columbus credit, they still got a result out of that game, 2-2.
Took the lead
twice. Pogatetz saved one off the line that would have given Orlando City the lead.
Took the lead twice, did Columbus in that game, and Orlando had to peg him back. But Pogatetz, I mean, what an experienced defender coming out of EPL, Austrian-born.
61 caps with the Austrian national team.
Not a bad guy to have in your back line.
32-year-old with lots of experience and games under his belt. Meanwhile, this is Bedell, the 23-year-old, leaves it. And it will be Bods to send it high in the air. Headed forward by Wall. Into the corner it goes towards the glitter. It rained down after Kaká's goal. We see some of it still floating around the stadium here.
All that glitters is gold, Jeff.
Right now the men in gold trail the men in purple. 1-0. Higuita will take possession and finds Seren. Here comes the ball looking for Rivas to the edge. Rivas has a runner in Ribeiro. Leave it back to Kaká instead. Kaká outside the 18. Now back to Rivas. Here's the cross and overshoots everybody. Had nobody on the back post.
Don't know if he should have taken that extra touch. Just get that ball served in. Extra touch may not have served him well there.
Yeah, Avila and Ribeiro were both inside the 6, but overshot them both. Higuita, nice composure. It's Sean St. Ledger, former Irish national. Nice hold-up play by Pedro. Makes the turn, tries to get out of trouble as Chani closes in. He'll draw the foul.
Well, nobody moving around him. He kind of looked both ways, trying to find someone to give the ball to, and couldn't find anyone. But Pedro, really good soft feet, good at holding up the ball, and he showed you what he can do there.
Restart stays on the left. Soren now to Rivas. Rivas will whip it in, and this will go over the line. It will be a corner kick. Stuver couldn't get there in time.
Well, game is, it needs a, it needs something to wake it up
Charge.
a little bit.
Another goal here, perhaps. This will be Rivas to serve off the left foot here. This will be interesting. Got Kaká, Ribeiro in the box. Seb Hines out there as well. It does roll to Kevon George and held in by Orlando's Darwin Soren. Takes a big crank and knocks it off the head of Steindorset. Well, a nice job by Luke Bowden. Lions starting to wrestle away possession here as they've got the 1-0 lead. Avila to Higuita. Nice give and go. Outruns him a bit. Avila back into Christian. Not sure what to do. Now here's the turn. Back heel into Higuita. Everybody standing on their feet. Now Kaká will send it right into Stuver's gut.
Good job.
A little disjointed, but hey.
Brad Stuver showing slide tackling abilities and then getting up very, very quickly. You thought that was going to be all kinds of things, but Brad Stuver said it's going to be a save.
Half an hour gone by. It's Columbus now on the attack right to left. Boy, whipped into the 18. Excuse me, just dribbled in.
Wow.
And now, boy, just outside the box. Dangerous spot to commit a foul. Clutie with a nice little run and cheeky ball in. Looking for Spies, who's been quite impressive so far.
He's done well. He's finding that bit of space just in between the area, between the defenders and the holding mids for Orlando City. He checks back into the space very well, turns very well, and he's done that quite a few times so far tonight.
Big opportunity here for Crew SC. See Tally Hall directing the guys. Where do you want him? Where do you want him?
Well, he's left-sided, so, or let's see what he does. He looked like he was trying to line it left-sided, but no, we're going to have Tyson Wall coming over with him.
Wall and Spies.
So they're going to talk about this one. But as an in-swinger, again, if you're Tally Hall now, goalkeeper, this one, both posts are in play. You got on-rushing players of this one.
Spies, number 17, thinking about it. He will leave it for Wall. Drills it low off of Chani's feet and all the way back out. Barson trying to keep things alive, sending it back in. Went off the head of St. Ledger. 50-50 ball in the air, and now here's Bedell, and out jumped it just a touch. Steindorsen, not a bad offering. He had a runner in and Schoenfeld, but it does fall all the way to Tally Hall.
Sean St. Ledger right with him. That was a matchup between one of the biggest, one of the shortest players on the pitch, Bedell and Ramos.
Here comes the switch to the point. And Orlando will look to tack to the right. No, they won't. Giving it right back. We'll try the center. Avila. And that got to Kevon George before it found Kaká. Battle for the 50-50 continues. And another free kick awarded to Columbus Crew. And Darwin Soren not happy with the call here. Player down for Columbus.
Took a clattering.
Spies is back up.
Orlando City have taken Eric Avila, kind of pushed him more inside to play alongside Kaká to kind of give him that extra body in the midfield to make up some of the numbers in there, Jeff. And that's made a little bit of a difference so far in this one.
Boy, Spies right in on Bedell. Excuse me, that was Schoenfeld that got ahead on it. He'll give chase now. Again, the ball doesn't reach Kaká. The angle played perfectly by Kevon George. Chani holds things up. Lifts it to Tyson Wall on the left all the way up. Chani. Here's the switch looking for Clutie. Clutie with the battle. And he and Soren continue. Clutie, nice composure, wins it back. Inside to Spees. Corner of the 18. We'll chip it to the far side. Does find a head, and
looks like
Bedell was calling for a handball.
Yeah, might have been one in there. Referee either didn't spot it or didn't think it was intentional. But again, with no replay, it's hard to tell.
Nice job as Kaká found Rivas straight up center. Pogatet steps to, and it does not find Ribeiro. Ribeiro into the box. Ball bouncing like a pinball now out to Rivas. He'll shoot. Wow! He scored. He smoked the back of the net. 2-0 Orlando City.
Did you see that? Could you see that? First, let's credit Pedro Ribeiro for holding on and playing bumper pool inside the central defense area of Columbus Crew SC. Ball finds its way out to Rivas, who hits that thing 1.21 gigawatts.
Orlando City going back to the past with Rivas, who scored 3 goals in his last U.S. Open Cup appearance. So Rivas' first goal from the run of play gets a big hand. And 10 minutes from halftime is Orlando City 2, Columbus 0.
Well, we'd said earlier, watch out giving him room to shoot because he's got the hammer of Thor. And he showed you, as we said in the last Open Cup, he can hit that one with some authority.
Columbus now have not played bad at
No.
all.
No.
And now find themselves trailing by 2.
I think the score doesn't quite indicate how
It does
how
flatter Orlando a
close-
little bit.
Close a game as really is.
Wall, play it back. We'll see if things
Well, I think some
get
of the,
changed up by Greg
Well, I
Berhalter.
think some of the biggest differences is with Eric Avila pinching in a little bit. The Orlando City have had to pinch in their attacking midfielders, their wide attacking midfielders, to help make up some of the numbers. I think that's made a bigger difference in terms of Orlando City being able to have some more possession.
Chani will take it. And his only play is back to Bedell. He better watch out as Kaká charging hard in. 50-50 high in the air, center circle. Chani pulls it down, left side Steindorsen. Bedell will play it direct back to Orlando City.
You want to watch out for that situation with Spees and Clutie.
Here's Spees now. We'll roll it back. George and Chani play catch. Now Spees into the corner. We'll drill it to the back post. Headed high in the air. This is going to be a tough play for Tally Hall. Manages it okay. The ball headed by Bedell was a little high there. Not really direct on frame.
They say time typically favors the defense, but they still had a hard time getting that one out.
Avila will leave it for Seren. Lions now with a 2-0 lead and all the time in the world to play with this.
Well, one of the things they said they want to do was come out and get an early goal. They were able to do that, and that usually settles you down a little bit because the start was much better for Columbus than it was for Orlando. But that early goal is along with a couple little adjustments for Orlando City, has settled them down in this match. But, you feel like Columbus it's a much closer game than the 2-0 score would let you believe.
Just a bit far for Rivas there off the foot of Luke Bowden. Nice run up by Kaká. Closer and closer to halftime here in this 5th round U.S. Open Cup match between Orlando City and Columbus Crew SC. It's 2-0 to the Lions on goals from Kaká and Carlos Rivas. 50-50 Hines. And he will get the decision there. Foul was committed by Schoenfeld.
Well, on the bench, Columbus Crew of Justin Merrim, who could still come in, will trap. Mohammed Saeed could still come in. And I don't know, if it's anywhere close and they think that there's an opportunity, you might think that Coach Greg Berhalter may make a few changes in the second half. But if he feels like it's not, he's probably going to rest the bodies and get them ready for this weekend's contest.
Columbus on the road once again. New York Red Bulls on Saturday.
Red Bulls coming off that big New York Derby win off New York City FC 3-1. So it doesn't get easy in this league for any team, Jeff. It really doesn't.
Spees some space, and St. Ledger will just play it out. Kevon George makes the switch near side to Tyson Wall. I mean, Columbus will Columbus will play at home this weekend. My apologies. New York Red Bulls will be at Mafre Stadium.
Regardless of the place, it's still a tough matchup for both teams.
Then it's on the road for 2 at Montreal, at Chicago. 5 straight against the Eastern Conference. Meanwhile, Orlando continuing to attack. They leave it to Avila, top of the 18. And nice job by Pogatets to break it up. Steindorsen, Icelandic international. No panic in Columbus here. Got about 5 minutes to pull one back here before half. Chani. All forward, dangerous ball. Schoenfeld with a big swing. And it will find Tally Hall.
Well, that was going to be trouble, but Sean St. Ledger with a very timely tackle, able to disrupt that blast that was a howitzer off of Schoenfeld.
Schoenfeld 3 shots coming into this match in MLS play this season and 10 appearances. Ramos. And that will not trouble anybody. Stuver, quick distribution to Wall on the near side. Pogatet's playing that central center back here in this 3-man back line. Finds Spees, middle of the park. Now Clutie right side. Clutie will circle back. Keep the ball on the right. Nice turn in between 2 Orlando City defenders. Now Bedell gets stuck in. Sends it across. Hines was there with Schoenfeld. Now Kaká does come back to Higuita. Christian right side plays catch with Rafa Ramos. Ball forward. A nice job by Kevon George, who's intercepting balls that are looking for the number 10 of Orlando.
Well, again, with the formations, Kevon George, Tony Chani able to really settle in and cut those passing lanes down, especially balls that are tended for Kaká. And so far, Kaká's not been on the receiving end of too many passes direct to him.
Made things happen when he does get it, though. St. Ledger. Schoenfeld closing in. Now Darwin Surin. Again, trying to get it free to the 07 World Player of the Year, Ricardo Kaká. They cannot do so. Bedell using that frame. 2 Orlando City players hit the deck, and Bedell wins the ball. Tall drink of water, Adam Bedell.
6'7", yes, indeed.
Has been loaned out a couple of times this year to the Austin Aztecs. USL. Wall. Back to Pogatets, and the Austrian will step forward. Back heel flick by Spees just finds Rafa Ramos. Higuita will collect and distribute. Surin. St. Ledger. Pedro caught back. And Tries to switch it to Ramos. Settles under off his chest, off his head, and keeps it alive. Steindorsen closing in. Here's Eric Avila. And Kaká with some space here. Sprays it left, Luke Bowden. Has runners in Pedro and Carlos. And Steindorsen steps to the ball. And now taken right off the foot. Shot sent on frame. Not a bad effort there from Darwin Soren,
No,
but Fidel dove to his left and got it.
I think as he was going through the
Stuber.
shoot, he caught quite a bit of the carpet here in the Citrus Bowl as you see those black pellets kind of fly as he hit it. Don't think he caught that one quite as clean as he wanted to.
Stuber had it the whole way. A minute from our 45th here. Imagine with a couple of goals, we'll have some stoppage time. We'll tell you about it as soon as we see the placard held up our fourth official, Matt Miscannon, at the Citrus Bowl tonight. Stolen away by Higuita. We're talking about Kevon George and Tony Chani. Higuita's been doing the same thing along with Soren.
Well, I don't know why the space is wide. Luke Bowden's going, hello, I'm over here, hello. Luke Bowden standing way out wide and tons of space on the left, and ball stays in the middle.
Avila leaves it for Ramos, who will play it back to Sebastian Hines. Weatherby England man now. Fellow Englishman. 2 minutes of stoppage time will be tacked on to the end of this one. We've played 45, Orlando City 2, Columbus Crew SC 0. This team looking to advance in this knockout tournament and make the quarterfinals. 16 will be down to 8 by tomorrow night. 4 games tonight, 4 more tomorrow. Winner of this one will take on the winner of the Charlotte Independence versus Chicago Fire. Game being played as we speak. We'll try to get you some scores at halftime.
Good
now,
good 1-2, good work.
Bowden, nice ball in. He just crosses through the 18. Steindorsen will clear it. Soren. Now to Avila. Thought about the shot, passed it up. Kaká gives it right back. Now Ricky with 2 defenders on him. Wall will look to clear and send it all the way to the other side. Luke Bowden pulls it down. Clutie on him. And now nice job by Rivas. Rivas into the corner with Bowden. Did he reach the line? He did not. Goal kick.
Looked like a good combination play between Rivas and Bowden there, but
a little too much roll on it.
Bowden just not able to get on the other end of it. But that's where the space is for Orlando City. They got to work the wider areas because the middle of the field quite congested.
And no score between Philadelphia and D.C. right now. Chicago and Charlotte will kick off at 8:30 Eastern time.
Well, this one is certainly right now quite an interesting match. It's been a stop-start affair, and a couple goals. It's been quite odd because you'd expect it to be a lot closer than 2-0.
Well, it's a chance for Schoenfeld. Didn't get enough of it, and you can see him take it out on himself there, pulling his hair out as it didn't trouble Tally Hall at all.
When you get that turn, you can look at the goal. You certainly want to pick your spot a little bit better, and I think that's what he was frustrated with himself about.
Our referee, Mark Kadlacek, whistles for halftime, and we will go to the break with an Orlando City lead 2-0 over Columbus Crew SC. We'll come back and talk about it right after this. You are listening to Orlando City SC on Real Radio 104.1.
like Pepper and Cotton from ESPN 8, The Ocho.
Oh, man.
I was afraid to ask who's who.
All right, Cotton.
We got Robert DeVries traveling back from the ATL listening in. So thank you very much. And the lads from MLS UK are listening and watching on the stream. So as well as all of the watchers and the viewers and listeners from Columbus Crew, we welcome you to this broadcast.
Some good goal calls I think you could take from that movie, Dodgeball. But they cannot be repeated either on YouTube or here on Real Radio 104.1. But we appreciate the tweet, no doubt.
Definitely not, but we do appreciate the tweets.
About 40 seconds. Teams have returned to the field. It will be Columbus now going from left to right as they're huddled. Our Columbus on the left side, talking things over. We'll see adjustments. What adjustments will be made here in half number 2? Orlando City 45 minutes and change away from advancing to the quarterfinals if they can at least hold this scoreline. Well, thanks to the goals that they've gotten in the first half.
As anybody knows that's been around this game for a long time, 2-0 is probably the worst lead to have. One goal from the other team, and all the momentum swings back in the other direction, and they get the bit between the teeth and they go for it. So. Dangerous lead 2-0. It's one of those, like, if the next goal comes, you want it to come. If you're the team with the 2-0 lead, you want to be the next one that scores to kind of put it out of reach.
Both teams now in the center as our referee Mark Kadlacek brings the ball in. 45 on the clock to decide this one. Now, Columbus has a nice history in this tournament. They've won it. They've got the trophy from the 2002 U.S. Open Cup. Recent years haven't been nearly as kind. Last year lost to Chicago in round 5, 4-2. 21-12-2 overall in this tournament, but just 7-6-1 away. So Orlando undefeated at home in this tournament in the past 4 seasons. And well on their way here as Pogotets will take possession here. Columbus will attack left to right. Clutie here on the near side. Bowden closes him down and leaves it for Kevon George. It will be Columbus ball as we're now underway, half number 2. So glad you're with us here on Real Radio 104.1 and U.S. Soccer's YouTube channel. Schoenfeld will leave it back. Great ball and firing over the top and missing a great opportunity there was Steindorsen. He was unmarked.
Good early start from Columbus. Steindorsen coming inside. Great effort. Just not able to keep that one down on frame. But that's what we talked about. You know, one of those goes in, and this game is completely different.
Now Orlando trying to make a four-way into the attacking half. Seren will leave it back to Kaká on Mark near side. They try to close him down. Runs into the box. Kaká goes down and will not get any call there. Went down a little too easy.
It's more like a fall. I'm not necessarily thinking he's looking for anything. It's one of those things where you can fall down and that's the way it goes, but it's no foul.
Orlando will continue with the attack. Pogotets heads it back in that general direction to Seren. There's Higuita with Chani giving chase. Higuita makes a move in the box, and they step 2 to knock it away. Pogotets playing big.
Well read by the big Austrian at the back. Not fooled by the shimmies and the step overs.
Over and handled by Tally Hall. Held it over the line. He'll look to distribute as Orlando City's numbers will move forward. Comes back. Try Seb Hines on the right side. 2-0 Orlando, just underway, second half, 48th minute. This will yield the throw to Columbus. Somewhat of a misplay there by Orlando. So Chris Clutie will trot up the pitch. Look to take here. Clutie the throw. George plays it right back. Kevon now just in the corner of the 18-yard area. Will flick it, looking for Steindorsen. Settles, he'll shoot.
Wow!
Saved off the line and into the net.
Well,
with Sean St. Ledger, my goodness gracious.
Mark that one because it's not a keeper that did it, but that could be the save of the night right there by Sean St. Ledger, doing what a defender's supposed to do, covering your goalkeeper. And, man, that is absolutely fantastic by Sean St. Ledger.
He bounced off the back of the net like a trapeze artist, Tom.
I thought he got caught in there like a salmon.
Fishing nets have been sewn together quite nicely. Boy, nice build-up for Columbus. Now they'll try it again, a little back heel, leaving it to Steindorsen, who was denied last time. Far post and missed it by about an inch. So Columbus with some things to say here. Early going second half.
A storm brewing in the Citrus Bowl.
My
a yellow storm right now. Again, Steindorsen with another great opportunity. That save off the line, my goodness. That was a sure goal for and Sean St. Ledger out of nowhere.
All in the air. Columbus with some life here as Orlando City looking to wake up coming out of the locker room. Rivas runs on, and it will come back to Columbus on the throw. Back to Stuver, the goalkeeper tonight. Hines back to St. Ledger, the hero. The last few minutes, that's for sure. Now he'll have to step two. Nice release. Spees finding Bedell. And he'll have to get rid of it quickly. Top of the box it goes. Oh, nice move there by Seren. Seren now will play it to Rivas. Looking to relieve some pressure here. He'll bend it. Looking for Ribeiro. Pogatetz is there. '51st minute. Oh, another nice ball played in. Here's the shot right off of Tally Hall. And it will yield a corner kick for Columbus. Nice run up there.
A lot of success for Columbus coming off Orlando City's right side.
And it was Romain Gall who entered the game here as a substitution. So subs proving valuable here for Berhalter. So one sub has been used. And the corner kick upcoming. Whistled in. And will come back to the far side. Steindorsen can't get there. Kaká will grab it. Play it back to Seren. Right side, nice job by Ramos to get it back to Kaká. He'll have to hustle as the pressure being put on by Columbus now. Into the box it goes again. Nice run and saved. Back across the face of goal. Little dodgy moment there. Now Rivas will look to outrun Clutie. He'll hold it up. Rivas makes the turn to Ooze and Oz. We'll leave it to the far side and put too much on it. He
not sure who that
overshot
was.
it just a touch.
Well, I'm not quite sure who that was too. I think both. I'm looking at Avila and Kaká kind of going. It kind of split the two of them.
Columbus chasing a 2-0 game. Spees. As Gall to his left. He'll opt to Clutie on the right. And turned over. Seren has it. Battle in the middle as Pedro gets taken down by Pogatetz. A suplex, if you will. And there's the yellow shown to Pogatetz.
Pogatetz disagreeing quite a bit with the referee over that call. Pogatetz. Again, without the benefit of replay, it's a little hard to look at the finer details of that challenge.
To agree or disagree. So third yellow card on the men in yellow. Schoenfeld and George each going into the book earlier in the first half. So 53rd, third booking to Orlando City's 2 cards. So Bedell is off, so now we know Romain Gauls, who he subbed
heavy.
in for. Boy, nice ball in. Pedro can't get there.
Heavy touch. He was never going to get to that one.
So right now it's Schoenfeld, the lone striker. So they mix this up a bit. Chani surveys things in front. They give him some space to work. To Gall. Chani. Gall goes down outside the 18, earns the foul. So a free kick coming from about 25 out here for Columbus.
Another free kick in a really dangerous area.
Straight away. 55th minute. Big chance for Columbus here. Starting the second half much like they did the first time.
Well, 2 players over. I think this is going to be put on frame.
Right into the wall it goes. Chani off to the right now. George can't keep it on his foot. Seren relieves it. And now pegged forward. Boy. Nice job by Bowden to try to cut off Clutie. He will yield possession on the throw in. It's into touch.
Free kick. I'm not sure if he tried to put that, trying to find a hole in the wall or put that under, but puts it right into the wall. Oh, nice flick up by Higuita, and then goes down.
Higuita holding his right ankle.
As if he's been, maybe came down wrong if he turned it.
So we'll slow things up just a touch. We'll check in on Christian Higuita.
Yeah, it might have come down a bit awkwardly on his ankle, perhaps. But again, no replay to go to, so.
Yep, still
gone through 56, nearly 56 minutes. And this is what you don't want if you're either team. I mean, in any competition, but certainly you don't want to see players going down. For Orlando City, thin as they are already and struggling with injury and player call-ups, this is not something that you want to see. Now, if he does happen to go out, Lewis Neal will probably slide in. Lewis Neal shows he's quite capable and very good, actually, Jeff, at that holding midfield role. But he's not even.
It would be probably Harrison Heath.
He's not even on. He's not even dressing. So, but looking ahead, if you look ahead, and that's not good because you got Darwin Seren leaving for national team duty. So Christian Higuita, the one who's the consistent starter, sticking around. If he's injured, that could be a little bit of trouble for Orlando City.
One of the deepest positions for Orlando as they look for Pedro. Nice job to keep it down, and he's fouled from behind. No, actually committed foul in the process, and it will be Columbus ball as Pogatetz makes his case. Ball finds the far side. Steindorsen plays it back. Here's Kevon George. A nice ball in. And taken off the foot of Spies by Luke Bowden. They're trucking through the midfield is Avila. Left it goes to Rivas. Defenders close in, top of the box. Avila will shoot. Tyson Wall, who was a big wall there that time.
Well, Tyson Wall blocking it, but it caught him. Avila certainly looking to bend it in that far post. did a good job once he passed it while making space back for himself in the midfield.
Columbus within the attacking half once again. They trail 2-0. Comes to Kevon George. Now drilled. Boy, had a good look, but the target was missed.
Well, very good job of turning and firing, just not able to find the target on that. But a good effort.
Distributed by Tally Hall, left side. Game getting just a bit sleepy again, Tom.
Well, you've got Columbus far from full strength, hardly at full strength, maybe a couple players. And Orlando City coming off a bit of a break, so I don't think each team quite as sharp as what they'd like to be.
Ramos in full gallop. Try to get the corner, will race on, and did he knock it off of Wall? He did. Corner kick, Orlando City.
Good run by Rafael Ramos. Good job down that right side. He always shows a good willingness to get forward in this system. You'd better have that willingness to get forward.
Here's the corner delivery, goes way over the top, and could have did a little better with that one, and Rivas will trot back.
Yeah, that one
got away.
That one found the wrong address. That one was headed toward Tampa.
Stuver sent it, and it comes all the way back to Orlando City. Luke Bowden along the near touchline. Drilled forward, looking for Ribeiro as and Barson come together.
Offside. Offside the call.
Here's the turn. Spies look ahead. Schoenfeld with some space will send it across the face of goal, going far post, but the defense was there to alter the shot. It went off to the left side.
He tries to bring that down and bring it across. Tough angle, especially with the defender right on him.
Played just over an hour. Orlando still holding on to a 2-0 lead. Just getting word that the United States women have knocked off Germany 2-0. Spoiler alert, I guess I should have said that first for those of you DVRing it. That's left for Cacao, races into the 18. A nice job held up by Rivas. There's Bowden, and he'll cycle back out. Avila back to Seren, trying to keep it on the near side, and back to the defending half momentarily. And Kevon George make that Chani, send it into the crowd about 8 rows deep.
When Orlando in the midfield, they look a lot better.
Now you've got Darwin Seren down, slow to get up on his knees. They're in the crouched position. Will be Orlando City ball here. And another player down in the box for Orlando City is Rivas, right at the top of the 18. Pedro standing over him, and now the training staff will come out to take a look. Columbus will take this opportunity to get some hydration on the near side.
In these temperatures, you certainly need it, although no repeat of the hydration break that we had here a few weeks ago.
First of its kind. That was not 1-0 victory over DC United. Supporters certainly in full party mode. They're not loud and proud as usual, Tom. Little more sparse as you look around the stadium for a Tuesday night Cup game. Not initially on the schedule for people to make plans. And now here comes a substitution, the second for Greg Berhalter. So coming off now will be Spees, who's had a really nice game. And now Justin Merrim comes on. So now you'll have a shot in the arm if you're Columbus.
This is what I was wondering if Coach Greg Berhalter was going to do if he felt the game was somewhere in reach, was to get some of the more regular players on.
So Merrim on right now, taking up the spot in the hole. Steindorsen off to his left, who usually spells Merrim in the regular season.
I believe that was
Rivas. Pushed off the ball, clean play. Chani collects. I suspect this game will ramp up just a notch on the right side. This is Gall. Leaves it in for Merrim. He'll go down in the box. A little too easy. He appeals for a call. Is not going to get it. Orlando will try to dribble out of their own half. Pogatetz makes the touch, and now Chani. Switch it left side. Flutie will just give it a go, will Steindorsen, and he was off target again. Hall surveys things, taking his time. 65th minute, Orlando City 2, Columbus Crew SC 0. Ramos comes back to collect. Everybody getting in their shape. Merrim tries to close him down. There goes Rafa. We poked out for a throw. Or maybe not. Hines had to go back and retrieve. St. Ledger. Bowden reverses field. Back to St. Ledger, and they'll make Steindorsen chase. And he and Schoenfeld, the top of the attack for Columbus. They trail by a couple of goals here. Pogatetz again wins the 50-50 ball against Pedro Ribeiro. Gall brings it down. Chani in front. Schoenfeld nearly got by, but now Orlando City will counter. Rivas into Kaká, plays it right back to him. It bounces to the Colombian. Top of the 18, rolls it into Ribeiro, leaving it off. Inside it goes, and it's scuffed over the top. Nice build-up for Orlando, but Avila couldn't turn on it.
Oh, good job playing in and out of Pedro Ribeiro and putting that ball into Avila's space, but the finish just lacking.
Now Rivas will check out of the game, first sub of the match, and in comes Amobi Akugo. So a defensive sub here to maybe lock this thing down as we're 67 minutes in, Tom.
Well, you're definitely bringing in Amobi Akugo, kind of nail things down in the midfield. It's a defensive substitution to counteract more the attacking substitution that was made by Greg Berhalter to insert Justin Merrim.
So Kugo comes in. Now you've basically got three defensive midfielders in there. Try to lock this out and advance. No points on the line tonight. Just a spot in the final 8. Columbus with some life, though.
Orlando City more kind of sitting into a 4-4-2 now.
Turned over. Now Avila will run. How about Merrim showing the speed to close him down? Able to get the ball away. See the energy that Justin Merrim, fifth-year player out of Detroit. 14 goals in his time with the Crew.
Interesting thing is you got Amobi now sitting kind of deeper next to Christian Aguita, and Darwin will stay tucked in closer to them, but he'll kind of take up that right side of midfield role, but definitely going to remain a lot more defensive.
Crew will keep moves. Chad Barson on the right side. Merrim tries to get by Akugo, played the angle, and it comes back to Tally Hall, who will pick it up. Schoenfeld right around him. Akugo. The St. Ledger corner of the box as Merrim closes him down and able to get it away. Avila. Now Higuita dribbles out of trouble. Avila will just spend it forward. Now way off his line is Stuver, and he'll retreat as he sends it into the crowd. Throw into Orlando City right at the halfway line.
Good positioning. He's quick. He's quick to get out that far that quickly and get that ball played away.
Here the crowd at the Citrus Bowl. Supporters egging on the Lions. They've led by 2, led throughout. Higuita, heavy touch, comes back. Merrim was in the vicinity. Big win there by Seren, who was in the right place. Kaká plays it back to Higuita. Asks for it back, and Higuita obliges. Right side to Ramos. Ramos with Clutie on him. Nice cross in the area. And Pedro just put it over the top.
Well, doing the best he can to try to redirect that ball as it comes in, but difficult task. Can't quite get on it what he wanted to, sending it over the bar.
U.S. Open Cup score update. DC United 1-0 lead at the half on Philadelphia. And how about this? In the 26th, Charlotte Independence of USL lead Chicago Fire 1-0. They will be the next opponent of the winner here tonight.
Oh, goodness
and there
me.
Barson to push off. Could this be the 4th card?
Little frustration. I think your referee will just have a little word with him. Kind of calm him down a little bit.
Houston and Colorado will also play tonight in U.S. Open Cup match.
Oh, might Charlotte throw the upset of the round? Still early going, though.
They already got the big check from U.S. Soccer for being the lowest division team left. First-year club in USL, not related to the Charlotte Eagles. As Mark Steffens, a longtime coach in Charlotte, now with Pittsburgh, is the Charlotte Eagles now in PDL, so Independence, a new club. They've done very well, by all accounts, on the field and off. Higuita with plenty of space. He and Seren formed such a great partnership over the last month or two. Higuita forces that one, though, and Akugo there to help out. Oh, boy, nice job by Avila as he slides in. Player down for Columbus. We'll see if we slow it up. Play on, says our referee. Here's Pedro inside the 18. Kaká will shoot, go to the far post, and it's smothered by Stuver. And still down prone was Barson. So he's now up, though.
He's up. That effort by Kaká, again, trying to find that far post, but not getting everything out he wants to. No problem there for Stuver.
Clutie is making the overlap. Pegged off of Merrim. Time starting to wind short in our final 20 minutes. Columbus, they yield a goal now. It's going to be quite difficult. Oh, back heel for Avila. Chani was wise to it and punked Avila a bit, but Avila does get the decision on the foul.
Final sub coming up for Columbus Crew. Here comes Will Trapp.
Well, good to see the U.S. men's national teamer. So Trapp in for Chani. So Will Trapp has only played in 3 games this season. Has 1 assist to his credit. He's been dealing with concussions and concussion symptoms most of the year. Homegrown player out of Gahanna, Ohio. Big future, not just from Columbus, but for the U.S. See number 20 in some action here. Free kick for Orlando City as Kaká settles in about 25 yards out.
If he's got it, this near post is really open.
Here's the delivery whipped in right to Stuver. Could not get enough bend on it.
No, it needed to be hit hard and whipped quite hard, but not quite so. Very tame bend right into Stuver. He didn't even have to move.
One goal changes everything if you're Columbus. Get right back in it with a goal here.
Goals change games, Jeff. Goals change games.
And that distribution went wide, so Columbus will have it in the attacking half just in front of the Orlando City technical area.
And there would still be plenty of time if Columbus were to get a goal anytime in the next few minutes. Still plenty of time to make this one really interesting.
Kevon George left to Clutie with plenty of space on the far side. He'll cut in, a little step over move, and has it taken away. Is nice job by Ramos to usher him in to the defense of Seren. Unfortunately, cannot keep it on his feet. Now left side. Here's a great opportunity for Columbus. Sent back to the spot and cleared off. There by Higuita, sent it high in the air. Columbus looking dangerous here. Not playing her first choice lineup tonight and giving Orlando all they can handle.
Well, like you said, even though it's not first choice, you got players out there that are hungry to show Greg Berhalter what they can do and maybe change his thinking with regard to them in terms of, a place in the starting 11 or more time.
Trapp with the delivery to the left side. Along the corner it goes. Clutie. Great effort. Seb Hines comes out to clean it up. He will send it into touch.
One thing open now, if you're Columbus, I mean, you're going to have to push to try and get a goal and get in this one. Obviously, leave yourself quite open to the counterattack. But that's just when you're in a position like this, it's just one of those things that you're going to have to gamble on.
Minute 76. Comes near side. Barson. He will flick it to the top of the box. Akugo right there and finds Kaká. Amobi now. Steps two. Boy, just able to get the ball forward. Now Orlando City on the run. Here comes the counter. Kaká has runners to the left. He will cut in himself. And poked away there by Steindorsen, I believe.
Well, Darwin Seren did a great job of making a straight run through to carve that space open. I thought he might have looked for Darwin back and laid him in, but decides to go inside on his own.
Might have been Trapp that made the defensive play there. Orlando City throw. Gall trying to close and keep Orlando City in. Heavy touch from Luke. Columbus will throw here. Gall. Back to Barson. Merrim tries to work it to the other side and again did not fool Amobi. Akugo has space to work and pull out here. Avila. To Luke Bowden. Has Barson on him. We'll just ping it forward.
Well, he tries to get that outside the boot bend back in for Avila, but he's never going to get there. If you're Orlando City, though, you want to keep possession better right now. You want to force Columbus to chase more.
Barson. All the way on the switch to Clutie. Ramos closes him down, takes the inside away. He'll leave it back for Kevon George. Now Trapp wearing number 20, center of the park. As Akugo steps to, Trapp goes down in a heap.
Well, he gets caught, doesn't he, as he comes through.
That leads to a free kick straight away. About 30 yards from goal here.
Difficult distance. I mean, 30 yards, and it's kind of straight. It's no real angle on this for a serve coming from behind you. So you either take a straight shot if you've got really good, if you can really hit this ball good and strong, or you're going to try and change the angle on it.
Kaká, the one-man wall at the moment.
I don't know, I might have two out there. And again, there
Play
you go.
it
They're going
short.
to change the angle on it.
Barson looking to get the cross in. Akugo sends it right back out. Here's the throw from Columbus. Barson has Merrim. Boy, good throw. Coming back is Higuita, and will he concede the corner? He will.
Header got a little out of control.
Danced just a bit. So now Merrim with a chance to deliver. Perhaps a fine moment for Columbus here. Drilled short, looking for the glancing header. Now it's back in. Schoenfeld got his noggin on it. Bend it back into an on-rushing player.
It's kind of a story for Columbus all night long. They find themselves in fantastic opportunities to score, but just not able to convert.
Our 79th. Tally Hall will send it high in the sky. Across the halfway line it goes and passes Ribeiro. Now Clutie will hold. Columbus out shooting Orlando 16-10, but only 3 on target to Orlando's 5. Merrim, who has the ability to strike from distance, he goes down in a heap. Clean challenge. It will come out to Orlando City.
You know, again, it's the fixture list that's kind of piled up on this one for Columbus Crew right now, and that's, you know, it's part of this. It's part of being successful in a cup. Sometimes your fixtures are going to come thick and fast in cup season.
Orlando City coming off a span of 4 games in 11 days, and finally got a break over the weekend.
And one of those was, you know, a U.S. Open Cup match.
Let's flick ahead. His Gall kept it alive. He will run forward. Barson had served it, and Hall will snatch it out of the air before Schoenfeld can do damage. Kaká will hold it. Boy, nice job as he tries to beat Pokatetz to the ball. Warded off, and it rolls all the way to Brad Stuver.
Well, that was quite a battle to get that one because Kaká is, you know, you may think he's 33, but he's still got speed.
Just picks the right times to use it. Now Akugo. Merrim had it taken away. Now Avila. Getting word that our man of the match will be Carlos Rivas, who scored his 4th U.S. Open Cup in 2 games here earlier tonight to get Orlando City in front by 2 goals.
Can't disagree with that one.
Kaká had the first goal, assisted by Darwin Surin in the 21st. Rivas the goal in the 35th.
So that will be remembered for what a blast it was.
We'll have to check the net for holes after that one.
Well, there's a few in it, actually.
I believe it had a flame path behind it going through the air. Akugo now will just make Columbus chase. Is under 10 to go. These 2 teams will meet again right here on this field in MLS play.
Somehow I think
that will be August 1st.
Somehow I think
boy.
Both teams will look a little bit different again the next time we see them.
Certainly. Bowden. Avila. Higuita. Hines. Now Surin. Kugo will spray it left. Bowden pulls it down with his left foot.
That's possession. You do have to have possession with a purpose, though. It's hard to just keep it. You're going to have to find an end to your possession. It's got to get into the other half of the pitch, and it's got to create something.
Avila now left side to Luke Bowden. Barson closes him down. He'll try to get the corner. Luke holds it up. And now makes a move to the left, using that patented speed move. He will deliver a fine cross. Ribeiro was right there, but Stuver got there first.
Good concentration by Stuver. It'd be good. Pedro right there.
Fine cross by Bods.
Yeah, very, very good job getting it down the line. And again, a well-shaped cross by Luke Bowden.
I kid about the speed. He's deceptively fast. There's Clutie. Comes back to Will Trapp. First time we've seen Trapp this year against Orlando City. Held in by Wall, and we'll look forward, looking for Schoenfeld, but the back line of Orlando holds again. St. Ledger and Hines have both had a really nice game.
Well, St. Ledger has popped up in some unbelievable places to really be the fire department back there for Orlando City.
So Ribeiro will come off. Another change for Adrian Heath here in minute 84. And Danny Mwanga will make an appearance.
I remember
former number 1 overall pick.
I was going to say, remembered for his rookie season in MLS.
He had 12 goals with Philadelphia out of Oregon State. Still trying to find the form. See if he can make an impact in this one. 19 appearances, no goals in 2 seasons with Colorado coming in. Orlando City got him out of the expansion draft, and now there's a foul by Trapp. And down is Darwin Seren, who, as we mentioned, is leaving for international duty with El Salvador following this match.
Danny Mwanga probably in the last round against Charleston showed you a bit of his quality.
That's
with
right.
a through ball that he laid on for Pedro Ribeiro.
Led to a penalty.
That did lead to a penalty, but the through ball was perfect. Is about as good as you could play it. So he's definitely a player of quality. He's got to find ways to show it consistently.
Here he is battling with Pogatetz, got a foot on it. Tyson Wall there as well. Sagita. We've watched him in training. He's certainly still has the abilities. He runs on to this one,
offside.
And the flag was up. A little too easily that time for Danny Mwanga. And now here comes the final change for Adrian Heath, and it will be H. Lil Heath. Harrison comes in, and Kaká will come out to a big round of applause.
Interesting. I don't know if I've ever seen that. A player walk over to the referee and shake the referee's hand as he's coming off the pitch, as Kaká just did then. Comes in young Harrison Heath, a battler in the midfield.
Harrison just 19 years old, homegrown player for Orlando. And has acquitted himself well. Has had 2 appearances in MLS play this year. Got a start against DC and did very well.
Good in possession and does not back down an inch.
Taught by Inchi. 4 minutes of regulation remaining. Can't foresee too much stoppage. Have had a couple of injuries, but no goals here in this second half. Gall will bring it down. 3 Orlando City players there. Does a nice job to get it to Trapp. He'll try to switch it. Merrim hounded by Harrison Heath, and it's stolen away by Rafa Ramos.
There we go.
Here is Mwanga. He's onside. He'll make a run at it. Into the corner of the box. He'll shoot. He will just miss the post, and Mwanga nearly made it 3-0.
Well,
nice run.
We did a good job, but took himself a little bit wide with that touch. Kind of took away his angle. And there was really no support, so he was left to do it on his own.
Question is, did this take some sort of a deflection here?
Well, I think the goalkeeper got a hand to it, yeah.
Okay.
Brad Stewart did get a hand to it.
On the other side of the field from us, now it will be Avila. Take his time on this set-piece delivery with the right foot. Corner kick for Orlando, played short. Mwanga got the touch on it. And now drilled back in, far post, nobody home. Nothing but yellow jerseys, and Orlando will go back to defend. Columbus short on time here. The second straight year will be eliminated in this competition in its 5th round. Miracles do happen.
Yes. Again, there's stoppage time, so.
Schoenfeld trying to make the quick turn. Now Orlando will take possession again. How about the spin as Higuita got away from Trapp. And now he'll be challenged and taken down by Kevon George. No call. Play on, says our referee, Mark Kadlicek.
Indicates he got all ball in that challenge.
Merrim, who likes to shoot from distance, he'll give it a go, and going low and to his right was Tally Hall. Had it the whole way.
Saw it the whole way coming in, but had to hold it because Schoenfeld right in front of him. So if that had come off him, rebound was to Schoenfeld.
Merrim, a capable shooter of the ball, has 3 goals and 3 assists this year. 29 shots. Third on the team. Harrison Heath in the middle of the park. Kugo. You got 4 defensive midfielders in there for Orlando City now as they spring Mwanga again, giving chase Pogatets into the corner, waiting for some help. He'll hold the ball up nicely. Out to Seren. Left side it goes, Higuita. Now Orlando just going to be content to pass it around. 89th minute, 2-0 Orlando. Harrison Heath. Mwanga back to H and gives it away, but it does come back to number 8. Inviting Columbus to pressure here. Higuita will wait, and now Akugo to Avila. Here's where the best passing team in the league can really kill off a game. Avila to Akugo, holds it up, just like on the training ground, right, Tom?
Well, this is what you want to do late in the game. I talked about it. You want to keep possession. Keep the ball away. You just have to be focused in possession, and possession has to have a means to an end.
And now down for Columbus on that late challenge on the far side. So we'll give it away here. See if whoever is down can join the attack. Too far for us to see. Trap will slow it up, and now we will check in. George? As we said in years past,
it's the Kevon George.
Yeah, we are a long way from the action on the field here at the Citrus Bowl in American Football Stadium. We've reached 90 minutes, and the 4th official, Matt Miscannon, has put up the placard. There will be 4 minutes of stoppage time here as George is now up off the deck. Good to see the former Knight.
I'm sure this game meant a lot to him to be able to come into Orlando.
Sure, he's had some friends come in.
Absolutely.
Well, trap.
Not the result he wanted, but
stoppage time. Pogatets will just let it fly. Why not? Nothing else has worked.
Might as well have a dig. See what happens.
Columbus has acquitted themselves well, just have not been able to find the back of the net here tonight. Orlando City now starting to boss the possession stat here. 54.1 to 45.9%. Still, Columbus out shooting 18 to 11. I've had a couple on target here in the second half, just none of them getting past Tally Hall. Will Trapp. These two teams, and you know the respect that Adrian Heath gives Greg Berhalter's side. He thinks they're the classiest team in the league.
He does. He thinks, and I agree with him.
Well, Merrim nicely held up by Schoenfeld, who popped back up, leaves it for Merrim into the 18. Akugo keep his composure, make the turn, and send it out. Trap. Now George. Columbus trying to add something to this. Here comes the cross, and it's taken right off the foot of Steindorsen. Nice job by Hines. Now Orlando, we are in stoppage time. Nice move by Higuita. Got Romain Gall to zig when he should have zagged. Time is going to run out here on Columbus. About 90 seconds remain as
sometimes
Luke Bowden will just try to go through Barson. Didn't work.
Sometimes you just want to dump it in the other end. Just don't give up possession in your end or near your third.
Barson. Goes back to Will Trapp. I'll give him some space and respect it. Avila will take possession. Now drilled up For Higuita, nice out heel flick there. Outside of his foot. Mwanga will race in, but Stuver there first. Finds Tyson Wall. Nice job stepping two. How about Harrison Heath with the skill over Kevon George? He'll hold it up. Mwanga. Some more excitement left here in the final minute. Ramos will hold. Everybody rising to their feet, expecting a whistle shortly. And there it is. Mark Kadlacek signals the end. No, it is a foul. Not quite.
It was a whistle.
It was a whistle.
It's not the final one.
Everybody thought it was.
Well, the idea when you're in a cup competition is to get your name in the hat for the next round. So regardless of how it comes or the team you have to do it against, that's the objective. And if you're Orlando City, objective achieved.
Charlotte and Chicago now tied at the half. Headed back to Tally Hall. That will probably do it. And there it is. Kadlacek signals the end of this one. Survive and advance. That is the directive in Orlando City. And the Pride of Lions will do just that. They knock off Columbus Crew SC 2-0 here in round 5 of the U.S. Open Cup.
You're listening to Orlando City Soccer Club on WTKS-FM HD1, Cocoa Beach, Orlando.
It's Cypress Cove Nudist Resort and Spa's annual open house weekend, July 10th through the 12th. Cypress Cove.